How did two homeless Rhode Islanders create a nonprofit to help others in need? Stay tuned to learn what they did and why. Thanks for tuning in to Briefly Good. I am your host, Scott, and this is your weekly reset and refresh to change your negative thoughts into something more positive and hopefully send you off and have a great week. Our main story this week comes to us from WJAR, Channel 10 in Providence, Rhode Island. So this story is close to home for me. This week's main story is about two people who lost everything, found each other, and then decided that nothing was still enough to give. Have any of you ever felt rock bottom? Well, imagine living in your car or just being discharged from cancer treatment with nowhere to go. That's where Shula and Lewis were just a short while ago. But instead of them just surviving, they started a movement that they called Up to Us Neighbors. So Shula is 42 years old, and she unfortunately found herself in a place in her life where nobody wants to be. She's living in her car and eventually moving into a local homeless shelter. Around the same time, 56-year-old Lewis had just finished battling cancer. He was discharged from the hospital, but he had no home to go to. Now, both our story's characters were placed into supportive housing programs located in Cranston, Rhode Island, and they became neighbors there. I would imagine for most people in these circumstances, they're mostly thinking about themselves. But these two were thinking outward. They were thinking about items people throw away, furniture in abandoned storage units, clothes that don't fit people anymore, and they saw this could be a lifeline for other people in need. So Shula started small. She began cleaning and storing some items from her own apartment that she thought people could use. She told Channel 10 in Providence, "I've had to learn to let go of stuff because you just can't keep everything, but I don't want my stuff to go to waste." So what had just started from a few items in her apartment has exploded into something much bigger. Their concept is very simple. Neighbors helping neighbors. Lewis and Shula now rent 3 storage lockers located in Cranston, and they buy storage units at auctions and sort through their contents. And then there's the best part of all this. They give it all away for free to families who need it. They're not running a secondhand store. They're not looking for profits. Shula spends about 10 hours a day collecting items for those in need. So if you needed a coffee table or a winter coat, some clothes for your kids, and they've got it, it's yours, all for free. They've already helped out over 100 people in the last year. Lewis told Channel 10 that the reward isn't money for him. He says everybody's story is different. For Shula, it's heartfelt because she knows what it felt like. The demand for items is huge right now. Shula mentioned that she often receives over 100 requests a day. She says because everything is so expensive right now. How are people supposed to do it? But fortunately, the Rhode Island community is stepping in and helping. People are now donating storage lockers and volunteering their time. They now have between 30 and 40 people helping them as volunteers, pick through items, and organize everything. Up to Us Neighbors is proving that a grassroots organization doesn't need massive funding to change people's lives. It just needs people to care and take time. If you live near me in Rhode Island and you want to get involved, you can find them on Instagram at Up to Us Neighbors, and the 2 is the number 2, not spelled out. And you can check out their latest mission and offer your own help. Shula and Lewis remind us all that even if we think we have little to give, there's always something. And even if it's just a reminder that people are looking out for you. And that's our main Briefly Good story for the week. On Briefly Good, we like to tell positive stories, give some tips and strategies and products to help you feel good, and then send you off with the Briefly Good quote of the week. And I want to hear from you guys out there. I want you to share your stories, your experiences, some of your favorite positive quotes, and I'll use them on upcoming episodes. Send me an email, brieflygood@hotmail.com. And I'd love to hear from you. All right. Hopefully you've been working on some of the tips and strategies I've been giving. I've been trying to implement them into my life, some more successful than others, but some of them are things I've been doing, in my own life for quite a while. I've still got to get better with the screen time before bed, with watching new stuff that pisses me off, but I'm working on it. How are you guys doing with these strategies? Or are there any ones that you know about that you want to tell me? So this week's tip is creating phone-free zones throughout your day. This one's really easy. You want to protect certain times and spaces from having screen time. This could be anything from maybe the first hour after waking up. You're not looking at a screen, whether it's a phone or a television, or an hour before bed, or maybe both of them. That would be even better. You could put something in like no screen time while eating. All these things will give your nervous system just a little bit of rest and a little bit of a reset. Doing this can remind you to be more in the moment and be more present. So, one of the things I like to do in my own personal life is I love to go for walks with my dog. Generally, right after work, we'll go out and spend 45 minutes or so. I try not to be on my phone at all and just kind of take in the surroundings. And it's actually a pretty nice walk down by the water. So, there's lots to look at. Always feel the fresh air helps and just getting some vitamin D. So that's helpful for me during my downtime from screens. Always glad when I'm done. And sometimes I don't feel like going, but when I get home and I push myself, I always feel better about it. Even if you're looking at your screens and you're looking at positive content, it's just the fact that you're doing that so much. Like, get away from it for a little bit. Don't be afraid to put your phone maybe out of reach on a counter nearby if you're sitting on the couch. You know, just to make it a little more difficult, just be aware of how much you're picking that thing up. I've been paying more attention to my phone usage and why, like thinking about it. And it's disturbing how often it's just muscle memory. I just go to open it for no reason. I'm trying to be more positive. Hopefully, this is helping you guys think more positively too. I think we all need it right now. I especially know that I do. And that leads us to the briefly good quote of the week. This week's quote is from Mary Lou Retton. Optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. I want to thank you again for joining me. My name is Scott, and this is Briefly Good. Go out and do something good today, even if it's brief.